Okay, so this is our group presentation for short-term treatment therapy options for homosexual assault victims, those suffering from PTSD, specifically males in this instance. And this therapy method is called the narrative exposure therapy method. So our purpose, we want the research for sexual assault to be more inclusive and stretch beyond the research done on just women. This was really important to us because we felt like in all the research that we had done, there was an absence of any sort of statistics on male sexual assault victims, and it is focused mainly on women. So we really wanted to take a closer look at that and shed some more light on just how many men are affected by this. And then the narrative exposure therapy method, we really did feel like it would help to kind of jumpstart the research for the community that is male sexual assault survivors and victims. So the research and exposure here, again, most of the media and research on sexual assault is about the effects it has on women. I think even beyond media and research, in everyday life, it's kind of always geared more towards women when we're talking about those who have suffered from sexual assault. We'd like to see an increase in available treatment options for the PTSD that follows this kind of assault. So here is more information about the narrative exposure therapy method. It helps people be able to relive and recreate what they experienced to make it less traumatic. I find that very interesting that you pretty much go through the story of your life piece by piece, including those really traumatic moments, in order to kind of really deal with it, think and feel through it, and, in turn, make it less traumatic because you're actually dealing with it and confronting it head on. It is also used to help them, the survivors, use their sensory memories to help put the story together and fully understand what happens. Sometimes when we try to relive traumatic situations, we kind of block it out. But this therapy method, again, wants us to confront all of that and use our sensory memories to do so. Evidence that we've seen shows that this method significantly reduces the symptoms of PTSD, and that is what we want to do. And can this method be used to treat male sexual assault survivors who have developed PTSD? We do believe so. When we did our research paper, we talked a lot about those hot and cold memories that are also a part of this therapy method. And here we're going to go through the steps of the therapy method. First, you will do a very in-depth diagnostic interview, which will go over your brain model. It'll touch on fear network, and then, of course, your plan for therapy. In step 2, this is when you give that really detailed story of your life, and you go through every single piece of those traumatic situations and memories that you do have. And this step is so important so that your therapist can get an idea of where your life and mental state was during the time of the assault, and really even before and after. It's just to get a clear synopsis of your life. Step 3, that is when the therapy sessions actually start, and we try to get to the root of these problems and solve them, again, mainly by just really reliving them, feeling all those feelings, and, learning how to deal with it. This is when we start to learn how to deal with PTSD. This is kind of going back to what we talked about in our research paper about the hot and cold memories. The positive memories are called flowers, and the negatives are called stones in this therapy method. And of course, these are the causes of PTSD symptoms. So we will go through, or your therapist rather, will go through each positive and negative thought and feeling to try to get you to reach resiliency. Step 4, this is the final step. It is like the closure. You're rereading and signing the new narrative created, because, you know, we are taking those stones and we want to turn them into flowers, of course, and we want to really try to get some positive thoughts and feelings about your past life, and more so about your future and what happens next for you. Again, you know, we're really focusing on the outlook of the future and moving forward, trying to create some flowers and forgetting about those stones, because we've dealt with them through reliving it and finding some good ways to deal with those leftover symptoms. This short-term treatment can be used as a way to ease someone into longer, more intense forms of treatment. So it is called a gateway treatment. It's very effective when treating PTSD and a little bit less effective for treating depression. You might need something more intense for depression. And another long-term form of treatment is necessary to sustain the progress that you've made using this therapy method. And then we did have some visuals here. This is kind of giving you a rundown of what the therapy method is. So I'll try to give you a better look at those. And that is our presentation. Thank you for watching.